a combination of words and sentences that can describe the situation I am in, and that can convince my wife, and she will understand everything about me. That statement made me wonder that as a communicator, we also strive to do the same thing. We always try to find the best way to communicate to another person so that they can understand whatever we are trying to convey to other person. If we are an effective communicator, it will ooze out of our personality. If we are not, we strive to achieve to the state. As a members of professional speakers, we are always at the quest of achieving the state where finding those all combination of words and sentences and paragraphs so that every statement that is coming out of our mouth, every speech that we deliver from the and that has becoming a reality. Two of our members yesterday got into the district finale. Can we have a huge round of applause for both of the members? A huge shout, hats off to your dedications. Thank you very much and congratulations, Rupinder Singh and Aditya Gupta for achieving this great and not only me, the entire club wishes you both of you all the best in your district finale. With this spirit, let's jump into 142nd meeting of professional speakers where eloquence meets impact. We provide a supportive and positive supportive. We provide supportive and positive skills resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, becoming a member of professional speaker is a privilege, and yet it is also a responsibility. It is also a commitment. It is also a dedication that we do, that we commit to ourselves, to the rest of the world. And here at professional speakers, we chase those commitments and visions and our missions through every meeting, through every day, through every month, not inside the meeting, but also outside the meeting. Let's start cheering off for all the members when they share their short-term goals and their progress that they have done during the week. Please keep applauding as members share their progress for the week.
Good evening, members and guests. This is Aditya. My short-term goals are twofold. These are in fact the old goals currently, given the current scenario. The evaluation contest is next week and the district finale is in the last week of this month. I'll be updating my short-term goal with respect to them and will be updating you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya.
Good evening, everyone. I've added a new short-term SMART goal to my goals. The goal is to draft one speech per week by doing long-form journaling. And I will continue to work on my previous goal, which is reducing the occurrence of filler sounds and unnecessary pauses by practicing and tracking to avoid them. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. No, it's not there. Honey? Is Honey here?
No.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Jolly, and my short-term goal is to increase the vocabulary, and for that have started reading newspaper. And for past 1 week, I have been a bit slow on that, but I'll try to pick it up again in the next week. And the second short-term goal is to publish a professional blog. So I have started drafting the outline of that, and most probably by next quarter, I'm trying to publish that officially.
Thank you, Jolly. I am Mukesh Thakur, and my short-term goal at Professional Speakers is to deliver 100 speeches in 100 days. And during this week, I have written 7 speeches, and I have delivered 7 speeches. The total number of speeches that I have delivered is 66, and the total number of speeches that I have written is 88. The stage of completion lies at 77%, and net 7% increase from the previous week. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are to make 3 videos of 5 to 10 minutes. Last week, I could make only one video that was of 12 minutes. And my second short-term goal is to write 2 stories of 3,500 words each. Last week, I could write only 1 story that was also around 1,800 words or so. And as far as reading is concerned, so I'm reading at least 2 to 3 pages daily. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I have one short-term goal, which is to have 0 defect for time limits. In the most recent occurrence, I exceeded the time limit by 3 seconds. I hope that I will be able to improve next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Rolly.
Good evening, everyone. For reasons that are best not disclosed, I'm not able to open my video. My short-term goal has been revised. I have achieved one part of the short-term goals, which is qualified for the International Speech Contest Finals. That was done yesterday. And my next goal is to qualify for the Evaluation Speech Contest Final. To that goal, I am going to play the role of General Evaluator / Table Topics Evaluator / Speech Evaluators to evaluate at least 25 times this week. I have also received feedback that when I give my evaluation, I love to love and like a lot, which almost sounds like a filler word. So I am going to omit those starting today when I play the role of General Evaluator and when I will evaluate the table topics. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the members who are putting a lot of efforts, who have some vision and who has some mission, and they are putting their day and night to achieve those missions. Thank you very much, all the members. Now, I welcome all the guests who are here with us in this meeting. Please welcome all the guests with a huge round of applause as I say their name. Please welcome Yashika Sikri. Please welcome Samarpita Mishra. Please welcome Acharya Asisha. I hope I have covered all of the guests. Now, as we were speaking about the combination of words and sentences that exist in entire world, there are motivations all around the world. There are some good places, there are some places from where we can learn. Yeah, what are those places, and what are the instances we can get inspired from? Our Toastmaster of the day is going to talk about one of the places from where not only me, or not only our club, the entire Toastmasters can learn something. Our Toastmaster of the day, Rolly Sinha, has been a Toastmaster for the last 3 years. Her educational awards are CC, ALB, and she has completed 2 paths, motivational strategies and presentation mastery. She has been working with Cadence Design System, an MNC in the electronic design automation EDA domain for the last 17 years. She is also responsible for the Cadence Scholarship Program that facilitates college education and underprivileged students. Currently, the program benefits more than 120 students in Delhi NCR. She aspires to be a scintillating speaker one day. She loves to read and learn about English language. With a huge round of applause, please welcome on the virtual ground, on the virtual stage, our Toastmaster of the day, Rolly Sinha. lessons that we can learn from Google team, lessons that we can learn from Google team, Rolly Sinha.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I'm sure that all of you are familiar with Google. We use Google in every aspect of our life, I believe, whether we need to get somewhere or we need to find something, some information, some question which is bugging us. And I've always been very surprised. How is it that everything that I want to know ever is there on Google? It's my go-to for almost everything that I do in life. And I'm sure that it's true for you too. I also wondered, what is it that makes for a successful team? Whether we call ourselves a club, a company, or we call ourselves a committee, any group that's coming together is coming together for a purpose. So what is that purpose and how can we make sure that we succeed at it? And then I came across this study that was done by the Google HR team for identifying what are the key success factors for a team to be successful at Google. But I felt when I read through that study that these are things that we can adopt in our lives as Toastmasters as well. A Toastmasters club is a team after all. So what are these factors? These factors were arrived through a study which was conducted for 2 years, and they interviewed more than 200 teams to identify what is it that makes for a successful team. At Google, they thought that if you are a brilliant Rhodes Scholar or a Harvard Scholar, if you are a dynamic engineer, or if you are an extremely creative person, so you just put all these kind of people together and you'll have the most successful team. And that's what I realized that, yeah, when I think of people working at Google, these are the kind of attributes that I put them to. And I also think that this is why people aspire to work at Google. This is why they are so handsomely paid. And to my surprise, that's not what makes a successful team. The findings were that the first thing that is really important for a team to be successful is the psychological safety that the team members feel. If I can express my vulnerability in this club and own up that I don't know something, then that is something that will help me grow. Because as we know, the only time that we grow is when we admit to not knowing something and try to achieve that. But if I were not able to find such an environment in my club, I don't think I'll be able to grow as a speaker or as a role player. The second thing that was found was dependability. Team members who are coming together to get things done. And again, I have found this to be so true for Toastmasters. We come together, somebody hasn't appeared because they had to go somewhere, it was a personal emergency. And in COVID times, there are personal emergencies spouting everywhere. So if people come together, they can be dependable and they can be depended upon to carry out not just their roles, but also take on other extra responsibilities if required. The third was structure and clarity. You saw just now that each of us has a structure and a goal that we are trying to aspire to achieve. If that clarity is there, chances are that the team will succeed. But this is not all. Meaning is what we try to achieve in life, and it is true for a team as well. If my work means something to not just me, but to my team members, then the team will be successful. And last but not the least was impact. If I feel that my responsibilities, my work make an impact, I will try to do better. Not very far long ago in the past, I had such a situation when I was absolutely crumbling under work pressure and personal problems. And I did not want to be an evaluator for somebody. But it was a responsibility that had been assigned. And I felt that, yes, I have to at least show up. I don't want to not show up and or say that I'm sorry, I can't make it today. I didn't want to be that kind of a person. But I thought that I'll make it easy for me. I don't have to pay attention. I'll just pay attention to just the speaker when they come along. And I wasn't into it. Problems. Why should my problems have an impact on this speaker? This speaker has prepared her speech for hours, weeks together, maybe. So, should I allow my problems to intervene and just give an evaluation on the surface? Or should I not try to delve in deeper and try to work hard to make sure that my speaker gets the feedback to improve in the future? That's when I realized that everything that I do has an impact, and so do you. Now, these 5 factors are things that we already do in Toastmasters. It's not as if we are unaware of these, but we don't do these things all at the same time consciously. We learn how we can do that, some suggestions that I came up with. And if you all agree, please feel free to adopt them in your teams. Just like these 5 factors, we have 5 segments that we'll be following in today's meeting. The first will be the professional speech segment that will follow very soon. Before this, you had seen the business segment. That is actually the first segment. And the third segment will be the table topics segment, where all the guests can participate and all the meeting audience can participate and deliver impromptu speeches of 1 to 2 minutes. The fourth one will be a prepared speeches segment where one of our members will be delivering her speech. And finally, we'll have the evaluation segment. Usually we have a power talk segment as well, but because our power talk speaker had to go for a COVID emergency, we will not be having a power talk session today, but our table topic segment has been extended. And I know that our table topics master has something really interesting in store for us. So let me take you on to meet our auxiliary role players today. The first one is our timer. Our timer will be Toastmaster Jolly Sharma, who will be sharing her cards as much as possible. Is that correct, Jolly Sharma? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, Rolly.
Thank you. And whenever somebody else needs to share their screen, during that time, timer will be writing in the chat window as to the time elapsed and the card that they are on. So please make sure that when you are trying to deliver your impromptu speech or taking on the stage for a role, just make sure how the timer will be sharing the timing elapsed.
Rolly, I have the background shared. I hope the timing devices are clear to everyone, right? So if this is green,
okay,
and yellow and red, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be using that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jolly. I did not realize that. So everyone, please also ensure that you pin the timer and see the timer card that is displayed on her virtual background. Then we have someone very special, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, who will be our R counter and I believe our grammarian as well. So I invite him to share the word of the day for us and let us know what we must raise our thumbs up to. Mr.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ole Sina. The word of the day is he can. And it's given in the chat box. It means to listen carefully. An example is he refused to he can to Tom's words of wisdom. Please note that R is silent in this word. He can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. I will do my best to weaken each one of the role players today. Now, our professional speaker is distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, also the club president, also a chartered accountant. Also, he believes lazy, but he does not think that he is lazy, but he feels that his community is very lazy. And he also believes that no one should be lazy in communication. And he derives his passion for Toastmasters from this belief. In 2009, he had authored Guide to Financial Instruments, which was published by the Taxman Publications. He loves to watch movies, traveling to new places, and playing chess. He indulges in many adventures, including, but not limited to taking to the stage. Let me welcome on stage, and you join me with a huge round of applause, our professional speaker of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, on the map. On the map, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur.
From 300 meters, take right. I took right, and then sister at the Google map repeated the same sentence thrice more. From 300 meters, take right. After taking a round, I reached at the same place from where I started. Then I realized that I was in Jaipur and I had to write Choki Thane as the destination. And for Choki, I misspelled it as CHOUKI, that means police station. And I was making a round for half an hour around the police station. While making that round, I realized why it is important and why it is important to have yourself at the Google map and what it would be if this Choki Dhani would not be at the map itself. I would not have enjoyed the amazing experience that we have at Choki Dhani. Good evening, members and guests. I find myself workaholic. Doing nothing is the most difficult task for me. I cannot keep working day and night without even eating and sleeping. I eat and sleep only because we are supposed to eat and sleep. When I was studying, I spoiled my entire health just for studying. I used to study for 20 hours without eating or even sleeping. When I was working at my previous firm, I kept working day and night. People would come at the office at 9 p.m. and would leave at 6, and I would keep working day and night, reaching office at 9 and leaving the office at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, working over weekends and holidays. I just kept working and working and working. One day, I heard the CEO of my firm asking someone to keep a record of who all are coming on Saturdays and Sundays. And that made me realize what I am doing. I am putting my 100% efforts for working for my firm so that my work can get better and so that my firm can even grow and all my CEO is worried about the electricity bills because I was one of the members who would come on Saturdays and Sunday. And then I realized whether whatever efforts I am making are going to have any sense, or I am just working and working and everything is going futile. What would be the solution? Not working was not the solution because it was inside me. I would keep doing one thing or another. Quitting the job was not also a solution. Running from one organization to another organization was not a solution. I realized what would it be if I bring myself on the map. That means I create an identity in the business world. Thinking something is easy, doing something was bad because I did not know how to run an organization. I had put my entire effort for the last previous 8 years for one organization, and I have got habitual of receiving one message at the end of the month that your salary has got credited. Now, leaving everything and starting on your own was not at least possible. It was not possible for me because I did not know how to do the business. I did not know many people around the towns who can provide us support and give us business. I did not have even backup for more than 2 or 3 months if I had to stay on the same status as I am while I am doing my job. Then I thought it is not possible for me to quit my job and just go into the uncertainties. It could destroy me. This thought was crazy. Next day, when I started for my office, I looked at the both sides of the roads and I found there were shop owners, there were rickshaw pullers, there were tea sellers, there were people who were selling goods at red light. I realized each one of them have one identity. Each one of them are having some creativity. They are not sure how they are going to end up their day, how they are going to earn money tomorrow. What will happen if there is some restriction or there is lockdown? How they are going to manage? Every one of them are carrying a risk. And then I realized whatever security I am considering is assumed by someone else. For example, I am feeling secured by working for someone that would not have been possible if some person or the founder of my firm would not have taken that risk 70 years ago. Whatever security I am trying to find is assumed by someone. Then the next day, I put my resignation without even thinking. There were a lot of struggles. The CEO and all of my bosses tried to convince me not to quit, and they offered me that they will do anything that I want, whatever salary or position they asked me. Still, I was in a different state of mind. The owner of the firm even asked me, if you change your mind any time, you don't have to call me. You have to just come to the office and sit at your desk and start working. That was a big thing for me. And they even promised that if I have already decided, they will support me for the business that I am going to start. We did some calculations that at least these are the things that should work, and we would be able to survive for at least 1 year. None of those calculations worked. The people on whom we trusted the most did not turn up. And there was a dispute between my previous employer due to some miscommunication, and my relationship with the employer was spoiled. Now we were on my own without having any support, without any financial backup. The people on whom we relied the most did not only denied to support, they also put some barriers so that we cannot do some business at my own, and we cannot receive some business from some of my contacts. There were some people who tried to support mentally, that still they could not support us. Whenever you try to do something big, something different, you will find there are three kinds of people. First, they will first try to judge if you are going to prove themselves. So they will always ask you that they will be going to support you, but that support will never come to you. Second kind of people who will be with you morally all the time, even if they cannot support you financially or logistically. And there are third kind of people who would be there for you with whatever capacity they can be. They will support you financially, mentally, emotionally, everything. Everything that we had calculated, nothing worked out, and something that we had not even assumed started coming up, and things started working. Something or another started working, and we survived. What we consider that will not work for even for 6 months or 1 year, we are now 8 years old for. We are not still that financially grown as I would have been had I worked from a previous organization. Still, I can proudly say that I can control whatever I work. I am an entity on the business world of this world, and whatever effort I am putting is making some sense. The another example that you can find, just look around yourself. There is one person sitting among us, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, who quit his job just because the job did not go well with him. The job did not work the way he wanted. And now he is trying to establish himself as on the globe, and he's struggling for the last few years to bring himself on the map. So why it is important to bring yourself on the map? Because whatever we are as of now is being done by someone else. Everything that we are enjoying as of now is due to some sacrifice that someone has made. There was some vision that someone has visualized and some efforts that someone has made. Just look around yourself and you will find the inspiration yourself. Just for example, take the example of this water bottle. In the ancient times, when we used to go to river and make our hands container and for drinking water, someone thought that we should do something about it. And that person made a cone out of the leaves that was available at that time. Some other person built up on that thought, and that person made a container out of mud. Some more people put some more thought and built up on that and set up an entire plant of manufacturing water bottles. Now we are enjoying our water in a nice shaped container. This is only a small example. Just look around yourself. Everything that we are enjoying is because someone is contributing to the world. Someone has some vision. Someone tried to bring themselves on the map. The world is not led by the political leaders. The world is being led by those who visualized change to the entire world. And now we are just following those people. You are working with someone, that is fine. If you are working with some big organization and you are achieving your goals, whatever you are working is making sense and it is aligned to your vision, that is perfectly fine. Yet, if you are not working for your vision, if it is not making any sense to you, if it is not aligned to your vision, then what is holding up? Are you insecure? Are you furious? Are you waiting for some situation? It is important to make an identity, make some sense from whatever efforts we are putting on our earth. Someone said, you have to make your dream possible. If you are not making your dream possible, then someone else will hire you, and then you will work for making their dreams possible. And guess what? What they have planned for you? Not much. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, when you are putting your destination on the Google map next time, just think yourself why that destination is important, why that identity is important, and when you are going to put your identity on the map, when you are going to bring yourself on the map. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's take 1 minute to share our feedback that the speaker will be asking us during the evaluation segment. I understand that our guest Yashika might not be there by the end of the meeting. So if she could share her feedback, both points that she liked about the speech and the points where she feels that she thinks that the speaker can improve upon. Perhaps Yashika, you can share it on a personal message with our speaker. Thank you so much. All right, I guess that means that 1 minute is up. Is that correct, Toastmaster Jolly?
Yeah, Rolly.
Okay, thank you
1
so
minute.
much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Professional Speaker of the meeting. One thing that I learned was that it's not enough to know what we're supposed to do. It's equally important to remind ourselves what we had decided to do and test ourselves whether we are doing it to the right extent or not. In Toastmasters clubs, we try to do this assessment through moments of truth. And in the study, it was found that if we question ourselves through a simple Google form, just take 10 minutes out for every team member to say whether they feel psychologically safe, whether they feel that they are dependable and that others are in the team as well, whether they feel that the team's goals, roles, and plans are structured and clear to them, whether they feel that they have meaning, their work has meaning, and whatever their team members do has a meaning for them. And finally, the impact that they feel they have on others and the impact that their team members' tasks have on them. If we can do that assessment just for 10 minutes every single day or every single week on a regular frequency, we have a very good chance of making sure that we are following that and take the corrective action if not already done. Now we are going to move towards our impromptu speeches segment, which is the table topic segment, where our table topics master will be inviting you. Please ensure that you raise your hands with elasticity, and we'll make sure that we are listening to you intently. So our table topics master today is Toastmaster Aditya Gupta. He describes himself as a listener, learner, and speaker. He believes in the inside out philosophy for living his life, and he tries to spend 33% of his time with people who are way ahead of him to learn from them, and spends 33% of his time with peers, family, and friends. And then 33%, which is remaining, sharing those learnings with others and helping them grow as well. This law of 33% gives him a very balanced and meaningful life. And he wants to impact 1 million lives by 2030. I'm sure such a champion amongst us is the right man to challenge us with new and interesting topics. So make sure that you volunteer when he is calling you. Toastmaster Aditya Gupta, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Madam TMOD. Hello, everyone. I am very happy today for two reasons. Number one, two of our members have qualified for district finals. And number two, the table topic section today is of 25 minutes. And what happens when I am really, really happy? People get into trouble, a lot of trouble. Don't like this punchline? Wait for the table topics. So today, quick, first things first, same timelines, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes, green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes. Table topics is one of the most dreadful segments for some of us during the whole meeting, because we can't think of content on the spot and what to say. But I'm there, don't worry, I'll help you with that. To help you with coming up with content, I have prepared some slides for you. The way it's going to go, it will be a context, picture, picture, and picture. You'll be given a sentence and you'll have to share your thoughts on that sentence till 1 minute. After 1 minute, I'll share a picture with you. You'll have to relate your content with the picture. When the green card is up, first picture will be shown. Connect your content with the picture. At the yellow card, another picture comes up, and at the red card, another picture comes up. So let's test your skills of thinking on the feet and see how you do with it. I'll quickly repeat the instructions once again. 0 seconds to 1 minute will be the context building. You will build your context based on the text you are given. On the green card, first picture, yellow card, second picture, third card, red picture. Red card, third picture. And the topics are really, really, really sweet. I'm sure of either two things, either you love me after this or you hate me after this. Where is my first table topic speaker? Can we have somebody on the podium? We have one guest, Yashika. Yashika, are you up for a table topic?
Yes, I would like to try.
Sure. So your topic on the screen. Can you see
Okay,
my
so this is the topic.
So not this is not. So your topic is, so this is a presentation that you are supposed to give to all of us. And sadly, this presentation has not been prepared by you. So you don't know what the contents are. Your topic for your presentation is share your experience of an expedition with Discovery Channel. Share your experience of an expedition with Discovery Channel Toastmaster guest, Yashika.
Since my childhood, I used to watch the Discovery Channel, and what fascinated me more about the Discovery Channel was looking at the animals and wanting to be there in the forest and struggling with Mr. Barry to find out the adventurous route where I can go and discover more on the lives of animal. And when it comes to how I used to connect my experience with Discovery Channel was watching it was not just limited to animals, because in Discovery Channel we always used to have different kind of episodes or different genre, I would say, like related to horror, maybe monkeys, or maybe related to motorcycle. So there was a time when I watched a monkey riding a bicycle. Do you believe me on that part? Because I see them, whenever they used to see any human being around, and they started mimicking those human being there. So when there was an episode in which a monkey get into a house and he observed a lady doing her makeup and looking at her, and he started mimicking the same, and he started trying to use the product by the time the lady left. And when she got back, she was shocked to see that how cute he looks. And then he was slaying, and he started running back on the ground and showing his other friends, where we get to see him. And they all wanted to dance and celebrate that they can get inside the human's place and they can do whatever they wish to. And they try to hearken carefully about how they in fact observe that how human interacts. And accordingly they used to start enjoying their dance moves on different songs that were playing, to which the senior most gorilla came in, and he intervened their party, and he started laughing about how they were communicating with each other and looking at the monkey in the first picture with the makeup done, and they were just having a laughter time that how stupid humans are, and they are spending their money on makeup that wouldn't do any good to them. They're just painting their faces and looking at the mirror and dancing. So the gorilla was just having a good time and sharing his experience with other monkeys and the group. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yashika. Our next table topic speaker, I saw our speaker one, Toastmaster Anisha, raise her hand. Anisha, are you ready?
Yes, with a gorilla smile.
So you will have something different than a gorilla. Anisha, your topic is, this is a presentation on how our future will look like. This is a presentation on how our future will look like, Toastmaster Anisha.
The 9-year-old me used to be a fan of Cartoon Network. But my favorite show were two, Flintstones and Jetsons. Well, Flintstones, while showed what our ancient history looked like, Jetsons definitely showed what our future could look like. That show showed flying cars, showed people living on high towers. Nobody was actually walking. Everyone had their own mobile car, and people were also wearing oxygen mask. That reminds me how that lack of oxygen is what we are going through. Looking at the present scenario of the world today, and especially India, in the grim scenario that we are living in, where we are fighting for each breath of oxygen, I'm sure our future is going to have every person with their own mask, with their own cylinder, carrying it wherever they go. Oh, that I think if we are partying, are we also sharing our cylinders? Well, in the Flintstones era, definitely they made their houses of mud, because that's all that they had. But in the future era, do you think we are going to continue using mud? Do you think we would continue to have that kind of mud and that kind of fertile soil to even make use of it? I don't think so. If we talk about weapons, you can think of the caveman, the cavewoman, and how they would hunt using their metal weapons made by their own hands. But what do you think would our future would have? Would stealing your oxygen cylinder could be a weapon? We never know. Could facing you with charges of not allowing you any medical supplies be a weapon? It could be. But let's not forget, there's a Disney production of Ice Age that takes me back to what our past was, and then that makes me think: will we have another Ice Age, or will we just continue with our own mobile flying cars? Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anisha. May we have our next table topic speaker? Toastmaster Mukesh, Raj sir, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj, would you like to give it a go?
Yeah, I will. In fact, being the toast table topic master, you must not be asking. You have to just.
Distinguished Toastmaster Raj, here is your topic. I'm not asking you. I'm giving you. Your topic is. This is a presentation on how to stay fit. This is a presentation on how to stay fit. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj.
On June 3rd, 2020, when I was diagnosed that I was suffering from COVID, the one thing which occurred to me that I had to keep myself fit. And my wife, being a medical staff in Delhi hospital, told me strictly that I must drink hot water every morning. Since that day, I'm drinking 1 kiloliter of hot water without fail, even though I have cured from COVID-19 and it was I was cured on June 17, 2020. That habit of drinking water, hot water every morning, has been keeping me fit, because whatever I eat which is not healthy, like some sour things or the things which are not good for my throat, in spite of that, I am able to maintain good health. And due to that habit of drinking hot water every day, I have left many things which are not good for my health. For example, burger, and I totally stopped drinking cold drinks. Whenever I get some offer of having pizza, or whenever I get some offer of eating golgappas or anything like that, I just refuse them, because I'm more concerned about my health. And due to this, I have never touched any alcohol since my birth. Though the consciousness about keeping the good health came very late in my life, but that was one caution which was instilled in me by my parents, that one should not drink alcohols, because they are not going to take us anywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Raj. A distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, if you're there, can you come on the virtual platform?
I am actually evaluating table topic speakers. So I would ask you to move on to other people. If you cannot find someone, I will give a topic as a last resort. In the words of Mukesh, I'm already a role player. I cannot do a table topic.
The distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, would you like to give it a go?
Yes.
Your topic coming on the virtual screen is, this is a presentation to tell you about my weird dream last night. This is a presentation to tell you about my weird dream last night, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh.
Good evening, members and guests. I'm going to tell you about something that I am a dreamy person. I am not dreaming only at night. I keep dreaming in my dream also, in day also, and I cannot tell you where my dreams will take me. There is no limit to where I can go from bottom to the height when I am dreaming in the day when I am sitting and having some vision. At the same time, I cannot also tell you what dream would come to me when I am dreaming at night. Just you will see in a few moments that this dream will take you from anywhere, from any imagination to any other situation that you cannot even imagine. And the dream that I am going to talk about today is the dream that I have had last night. I was working and then I just realized that I have found myself in a wild forest where I did not know what are the things that I should do. I just saw some creature. I did not know what is it. It looked like a fish. Still, it had four legs and it was walking and was trying to talk with me something. He was trying to say something about the situation that we are going on Earth. People are dying. People are having tragedies, and she was a bit compassionate about with me. And then I remember that she came up with solutions. She was trying to help human beings. And she told that she will bring her entire troop to help the humanity. That will consist a lot of other creatures like cats or dog, deer, kangaroos, gorillas, everything that can bring to save human lives, because once we have saved them, now it is their turn to save human beings. I did not believe on her, and I just got some assurance that she might help me. And the next day, I found that there was one gorilla just standing in front of my society and trying to say that if you are not learning lesson, he was standing in front of the entire residents of my society, and he was just trying to say, if you are not going with the nature, if you are not learning from the experiences of this COVID, you will not survive. This planet will be ours and you will be extinct like a Resident Evil movie. I just realized what the fish looking like creature was telling to me. And then I got up and I thought that we must learn from other creatures, and we must think what we are doing and what we must do, not only for human beings, but also for the rest of the nature, but for the rest of the creatures. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh. Very well done. Our Toastmaster of the day, I'd like to invite you on next on the virtual stage.
Yes.
Your topic is, this is a presentation to share my experience of a zoo visit. This is a presentation to share my experience of a zoo visit, Toastmaster Roli.
Why is it that we visit the zoo only if we are children or have children with us? We never go to the zoo otherwise. Whereas it could be such a great fun experience and a learning opportunity to see all of these animals that we have captured for our own amusement. We think that a zoo and a circus are different. I have heard some people distinguish between them and call the circus very derogatorily. But I think that when we capture any animal and bound them into cages, stating our need for security as the reason, I think that we are simply denying the right that these animals have. And that's probably why this animal is trying to eat this little child, this poor little defenseless child. I think that the animal was thinking that it was just going to be a kiss, but it's turning out to be a kiss of death. And we might want to rescue that child instead of just waiting for the yellow card to come up. The child might not last that long. There's only so much that we can, yes. And this is why we have to run. We have to run for our lives. I don't understand. This chimpanzee is obviously just interested in playing with this child. That's why now he's on the bike. Now he's telling the child, I'll give you a ride, hop on my bike. And the child, like any human being, because what we don't understand, we run from. Now look at these handsome men. They've stolen my heart already. What is not to like about them? Just look at that mane, just look at that fur all around. I think I'm going to go for the polar bear today because that polar bear looks so sad. I think this is my opportunity to make them smile. So thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. I am on my mission. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. That was a very well taken Toastmaster of the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, we are back to you.
We still have Jolly. We have. Oh, I think we've run out of role players. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, wait a second. Also, if after this Jolly would like to give it a try, I would be more than happy to take on the timer's role. On Jolly. But Toastmaster Jolly, would you like to give it a shot?
Okay.
Sure. So instead of the timer cards, I'll just switch the screen at 1, 1.5, and 2. Will that work for you?
Okay.
Toastmaster Jolly, your topic on the screen is
Aditya, I can do the timer card if you want.
okay, sure, that would be great. I cooked a meal for the first time. Here's how it went. I cooked a meal for the first time. Here is how it went. Toastmaster Jolly.
Wow. This reminds for me how I cooked the sabudana khichdi. The sabudana khichdi, I was very fond of that, and somebody suggested that it is very delicious. And they offered me one day when they brought it in the tiffin. And I thought that let me give it a try. And then when I put it in the pressure cooker, because I wanted to basically soak it, and I did not have much time to soak the sabudanas. So I just put it in the pressure cooker. And after 5 minutes, when the whistle blew out and when I opened it, to my surprise, I found that there was not a single grain of sabudana, and it was just water. It was all water. And I was surprised, where is all the grains of sabudana? And then I finally realized that when heated up, these sabudanas actually melts and it turns out into water. That was the first time that I thought that I have made a fool of myself. I should understand first the ingredients, their behavior, and then only try to cook something. And then finally, I realized that was the first learning. And after that, I never failed in my cooking skills, because every grain or every masala that I wanted to try, I used to understand the texture, the color, its basically components, and how it behaves. I think nature has blessed each of these ingredients with a different texture, color, and all. But somewhere I find that instead of cooking things all by myself, it is easy to order the food online. So nowadays I have the option of ordering the food via the app that is on my mobile, via Zomato or via Swiggy. And I get a chance to relish the most tasty dishes within minutes, and that is how I just love being with the food and just satisfy my food taste also. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Jolly. That was very well done. Please confirm if we have time for one more table topic.
You just have 1 minute, I think, so we are all done.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so very much, all the table topic contestants. I think this is the first time we have covered, in my experience, almost all the members in a meeting for the table topics, and all the table topic contestants managed to speak till the red card. And I'm sure almost all of them would have been disqualified because of my pictures. Thank you so much. I had a great time with you guys. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. I'm not sure. Okay. So, yeah, Rupinder sir's trick has obviously worked, but I'm not sure. Just want to confirm with Toastmaster Jolly if she was checking against the agenda or she was actually timing the table topic session for 25 minutes. Toastmaster Jolly, could you confirm?
Yeah, so I was just timing it against 25 minutes.
Oh, is it? Okay. Because we just are right at that point where we should have gone in for the. All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jolly and Toastmaster Aditya Gupta. Fantastic session. I know that whether we had fun or not, you certainly did. There's a very sadistic champion inside you. Thank you. Yeah, nice try. I know. All right. So we are now ready to listen to our prepared speaker for the day. We are heading towards our prepared speeches segment, where we will have Toastmaster Anisha Gupta sharing her speech from the path Persuasive Influence, which is, and the level is 1, the project is 2, which is evaluation and feedback, and she'll be delivering her first speech, where the target for this project is to deliver the speech, get the feedback, and incorporate that feedback in order to deliver another speech, which will be called the second speech. Toastmaster Anisha is known for being the quiet one, yet the inquisitive one, with a very curious bent of mind. She asks a lot of questions, and she believes that others should raise themselves, and I feel that others should face her. She has moved from developing tech products to developing human capital, and she currently works with an NGO. I believe she's still speaking to us from the state of Himachal Pradesh. She works with the NGO Barefoot College International, and she is a trainer there to empower rural educators. She has now rejoined the Toastmasters community after her CCALB experience, and she aspires to become a strong storyteller and community enabler. You can find her practicing stillness of mind, movement of body, oneness with nature, or just hopping around, looking for food, if not busy lucid dreaming in her sleep. Ask her about living in rural spaces after moving around 6 digits, and she will give you 6 cities, and she will give you a fantastic experience narration that will prompt you to get out of these COVID times and be ready to travel again. Can we just mute it for the rest of the speakers and allow Toastmaster Anisha to unmute, please? Thank you. Toastmaster Anisha Gupta, listening to the significant other, listening to the significant other, Toastmaster Anisha Gupta.
Anisha, stay where you are. Don't go to Delhi. It's not safe. Anisha, you don't have to be too kind to your roommate. Sometimes they just don't deserve. Anisha, I know that you love butterscotch ice cream. You don't have to settle for that chocolate one just because everyone is offering. These are the voices that I always listen to. And these are not from a real person. These are part of me. Madam Toastmaster and fellow listeners, do you listen to your significant other? And no, the significant other is not your real life partner, or in my case, just the imaginary life partner. This significant other is the voice in my head, the voice in your head, the voice that we all have in our heads that always keeps us telling us what we should do and what we should not do. Flashback to the young Anisha. Silent, shy, sincere. Oh yes, those labels that people give me. She's always been the quiet one. People would think that she is not a proactive communicator. But she is, just not to others. She's always having these questions and always having these answers to her own self. Always listening to the voice in her head, the voice of her significant other, the voice that is part of her. Anisha, do you know what happened to me today? I'll tell you this interesting story. This is my friend from college, jumping around every day after college, and she would come to my room and tell me some story that happened to her. And then we would talk so much about that stories, what should be done, what should not be done, what is the outcome. Anisha, I'm so sad and I'm so shocked. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do next. Please tell me. All this keeps on happening that makes me confused. This is another friend. Often calls me up late at night, asks me throws these situations at me and asks me these questions. Well, I'm not the best advisor, but certainly people think that I'm reachable and approachable. Friends like these, they are proactive communicators to others. But I feel that I have been a proactive communicator to myself, listening to the significant other voice. Well, if you have met my mama, you would know that she is an epitome of patience and silence and a meditative mind. She has always listens to me. She is not your regular mama next door. She listens to me patiently, and she is not the person who keeps on advising all the time. Also, she does not call me 3 times a day asking, what did you eat today? 2011, one day, when my parents were dropping me off to my college hostel. That one day, my mom said something that I have always remembered. My mom told me, Beta, suno sabki, karo khud ki. Listen to everyone, but do what you like. That one thing has stood by me all the time. But have I been able to implement that? I keep on reflecting on it. I keep on talking to my significant other, but I have not been able to implement it really. And no, these conversations with significant other, that is the voice in my head, is not one way. It's more like the plot of a movie called Anisha Calling Anisha. These voices have made me realize that I need to listen more. And that has made me do a 7-step analysis, just like the 7-step why analysis that I'm sure Toastmaster Rolly Sana loves to do. do I really listen to this voice? So I asked these 7 questions to myself. Am I really listening to this voice? Yes. Am I really following the advice that it gives? No. Am I really following the decisions that the voice gives? No. Do I regret not following the decisions told by my voice? Yeah, I do. Do I actually make good decisions? Oh, no, definitely not. Do I go back to following the voice in my head and the advice it gives? I don't. But with all of that, I have come to realize that I should start listening to it more. Look at this example, for instance. What are my thoughts? What are my conversations with my voice? You know what, Anisha? This has all happened to me. And this person has been so mean to me. Now I only have 2 options on the way or how to respond them. Option A and option B. I definitely want to use option A, but I want to listen to you. What do you have to say? Definitely option B. Sometimes you have to stop being too kind to others. Sometimes you have to take more practical decisions. So go with option B. Thank you, significant other. And what do I end up doing? Definitely go for option A, because who listens to significant others, whether it's our partners, our family members, our parents, or that special friend? No one listens to significant others in real life. I don't do my significant other in my head, but definitely it's a way forward. I am practicing to listen to it, make better decisions in life, and I'm sure I'm on the right path, so that I can bring and complete this plot of Anisha calling Anisha. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha. Now I request the speaker to please go ahead and launch the poll. Members of the audience, her poll will have 5 categories: the influence that she had, the connection that she had, her storytelling techniques, her humor, and her voice modulation if it impacted you. So please go ahead and during this 1 minute silence, rate her. Rate her speech. Sorry.
Madam Toastmaster, can you confirm if the poll is live?
The poll is live. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a co-host, I am unable to do it.
Yeah, so perhaps you can send her the rating on a personal message. You can still see the poll, right? So you can, yeah, so you can just send her the ratings on a personal message. So even I think Rupinder sir can still do it because he has co-host only on 1 device.
Facing the same problem, unable to submit it.
Because you're a co-host, is it?
I'm a regular member.
Okay, are you able to see the poll?
I can see it, I can't submit it. No.
Okay, maybe you can just send her the rating. Did you just close the poll, Anisha?
Right. 30 seconds are up.
Okay, I was still like kind of, first I was addressing them, then I was trying to populate, but I'll send you the rating after the meeting. Thank you.
Sorry about not announcing it.
No issues, no issues. It's perfectly all right. We can move ahead to our evaluation segment. where our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, will let us know how we've been doing during this meeting, along with his gang of tag team players. So this study that was conducted by Google, why this is really connected to the evaluation segment in my mind is that they didn't just try to measure where the teams found themselves on a regular basis. They also tried to use that data, which is, I know, something that is distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh's forte. So they use this data to come up with very innovative solutions. The first and most important factor that they had found was psychological safety. And it made sense because we are so wary of sharing our vulnerabilities with others. So it has got to be the one main reason why we do not improve ourselves and then the weakest become the weakest link probably in the chain that is our team, and then bring the entire team down probably because of our actions. But then the safety that we feel is the entire team's responsibility. So they made it so. They decided that because this is coming up again and again as a factor which is reducing the team's performance, so every single day, in every week, wherever the team meeting is supposed to be conducted, the person has to specify the one risk that they took in the previous week or the previous day. This helped everyone realize that I can take a risk only when I'm not wary about failing. If I don't fear to fail, I'm likely to go out and do something that I really want to. I may not feel very confident that this is something that I'll be great at. I'll amaze the people. Yeah, so like for me, humor doesn't come naturally, but to the man in the mustache, it does. And I'm not talking about distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh or Raj Mehta or Aditya Gupta. I'm simply talking about the person who goes between mustaches like with a click of a button. But if I'm able to admit that, yes, this is a risk that I took and this is how successful I was at it, I know that I'm speaking in front of people who are not going to judge me for it. We are always taught that do not judge, evaluate. We are also told what is the difference between the two. We are also told that do it with positivity, be specific, be helpful. This is our mission statement. But many times we don't remember it while we are in the Toastmasters Club vicinity or meeting, but only while we are playing a role of an evaluator. I believe that this is something that we can do for our team members, make sure that each one of our club member feels safe and knows that it's simply an opportunity to learn, not an opportunity to criticize or judge others. So with that, I would like to welcome on stage distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. He has a long drawn out confession for his introduction. He believes that he's a connoisseur. I agree with it. He believes that he's a lethargic laggard, and I firmly disagree. I do not feel that somebody can get up at 3:30 in the morning and be up until 11:30 in the night the previous day by being lazy. This is just simply not possible. So to distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh and distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, this is my fervent plea. Please change your introductions. I will not be able to call you lazy another time. Whenever I'm a TMOD, this is the last time I've read out your introduction in this manner. I need more creativity from you. And the second, he says me too, and I am very thankful because I have to confess, as a woman, he's always made me feel safe. Not just because I don't fear his presence, but because in his presence, I feel safe from everyone else. And a big thank you from my side for that. And on a serious note, when he's not lazing, when he's not eating, when he's not sleeping, or when he's not biking, when he's not speaking, when he's not trying to inspire all of us, at that time, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh drives improvement and excellence as a learning and development professional. We know he is he's Toastmasters addition to Udemy, and we wish him all of the best for his future SMART goals, including the one of champion. We will meet you. I will meet you next time in another role. And I'm signing off as your Toastmaster of the meeting now, handing over the stage to our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
Wow, that is the first time I've heard a 5 to 7 minute introduction of myself. And as far as me being creative, welcome to my laziness once again for my more creative introduction. I'll demonstrate how lazy I can be. You will see it through a practical example. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Let us immediately get to business and let us call on stage our professional speaker so that we can take feedback from others. To the timer, the timing is 3, 4, and 5 for green, yellow, and red respectively. To the individual evaluators, limit yourself to 1 commendation, 1 recommendation. And I now add Mukesh to the spotlight.
Thank you very much. So I would like to receive your recommendation based on the context that this speech was an extension of my previous, one of the speech of this nation, and this is supposed to be, I would try to project it as a motivator for the startups or the college students, or some motivating some employees to bring entrepreneurship in them. You can guide me based on those parameters. And the drums that you heard with my speech, that was not planted, it was not in my control. So I would start with Rupinder Singh.
Mukesh, thank you very much. Mukesh, I felt that your speech had a wonderful opening, and I think today it was very confident. I particularly liked the pace at which you spoke, which was relaxed. So you want to get comfortable with this kind of a pace because this is where you're making the least mistakes. If there was an opportunity that I would like to call out, of late, I've been trying using screen positions as in coming in and going out. So probably try that for the next time when you're giving your speech.
Thank you very much. Rolly?
So I agree. This was a very good pace, and your enunciation was very natural. Sometimes I've noticed that you have a tendency to stress on a few words during your speech, and I did not believe that. I did not feel that so today. The second thing that I really liked was you had such funny elements even in this kind of a speech. I think that always makes for a better audience connection. I would like to suggest that when the speech is this long, and I know that you stuck to like almost 14 or 15 minutes, a timer can tell better, but even with a 15-minute speech, it makes it easier for us to follow when you use that. This is what I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm telling you, and this is what I just told you approach. So that just helps me remember better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anisha?
Okay, sir. Yeah, so I love the fact that you shared a lot of personal anecdotes. And these were coming from like your struggles and your anecdotes, your situations of grit. I would follow along with Broly's recommendation regarding the structure of the content. But I also have to add something to the way you use pauses. I felt that there was a punchline when you said electricity bill, and you could have done it in a different way. Like, do you know what my employer was looking for? Electricity bill. I felt that it had a kind of laugh, but I think you have to bring in that drama and pause to it. All the best. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you very much. Aditya,
Okay, sir, I'll keep it very short and we'll start by asking a question. Which is your favorite song in English?
there are many. Music-wise, beat-wise, or lyrics-wise?
Lyrics-wise.
Lyrics-wise, the Titanic one.
Anything in fast pace, fast tempo?
What do you want?
So the reason I'm asking this question, I've always loved your content. They're full of substance. What I would like to see more of is what I've seen, constant improvements in delivery, but I really want to help you take your delivery to the next level. So back about around 2 years ago, back then I was doing a workshop at Drama School Mumbai. I was a participant and we were asked to remember our favorite song, the 4 or 5 lines of it. And there was a huge stick that they gave us about 6 or 7 feet tall. And we were asked to balance that stick on our finger. I'll demonstrate it using a pen because I don't have a stick right now. And we were asked to balance the stick and move around while singing that song. And the stick will obviously fall sometimes this way, that way, back, and all other places. Your job is not to let that stick fall. And of course, if the stick is going this way, you'll also have to bend. While you're bending, keep singing that song. That will automatically bring your intonation, vocal variety, etc. That will force you to move your content in the flow. And since you already memorized the content, these are the lyrics to your favorite song, then you'll not be struggling, do I remember the next part or not? So my challenge to you is take up this exercise, remember your favorite song with, of course, ample of lyrics, preferably with a high tempo. Do this exercise with the stick and try to balance it and walk while singing that song.
Thank you very much, Aditya. I would definitely try. I will try for it. Rasar, I need your evaluation, but offline. And I had already received an evaluation from Yashika, our guest. Thank you very much, and back to the general evaluator.
I would now like to call on stage our prepared speaker to take her evaluation, adding her to spotlight, removing Mukesh.
Thank you, General Evaluator. You all would have already rated me on a scale of 1 to 5 on the parameters I gave you. So you can add to that, starting with Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta.
Anisha, I would like to give my evaluation offline because I was too busy in writing the notes of grammar and other things. So maybe offline.
Always the man wearing multiple hats. Thank you, Raj sir. Toastmaster Aditya Gupta.
Anisha, great pauses. Your clarity of voice is phenomenal. I also noticed you are very good when it comes to using brevity, saying a lot in very few words. As per the recommendations are concerned, while you were doing a role play over the phone, I would have loved to see some vocal variety there, some change in voice, and also some brevity, because if I try to recall, I cannot remember what the conversation you had over the call. There were ample of words that can be removed and it can be tightened there. Throughout the speech, you had one tone, which I'm sure would be the objective of the speech. I would like to challenge you to have multiple tones or multiple themes in a maybe 5 to 7 minute speech or a professional speech, where at some point you are informative, some point you are inspirational, some point you are emotional, and trying out different themes throughout the speech. Also, I felt you were rushing a little towards the end, probably because the red card was up. So I think that was just a time play. Other than that, loved the pauses and the clarity of voice in your speech. Thank you.
Thank you for that detailed feedback. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh.
Hi, Anisha. I really like the way you think, you gather your thought process and try to experiment something creative. So all the credits goes to that, your experimentation with the speech. I really like the way you have written and the way you had started by having some conversation, and then you gave a surprise that it was not a conversation from outside, it was conversation with me. If everything was perfect, you are comfortable on the stage, you are enjoying yourself. For me to be connected throughout your speech, I would just like if you put some stories so that I can keep getting curious about what you are going to say next, what will happen, and what will be the situation. If you put that ongoing story, then it will connect with me more. And on the parameters, you also you asked the feedback about humor. So you are on the path, just keep trying on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukesh sir. Toastmaster Jolly.
So, Anisha, not much. I agree with Aditya, and I just love the way you speak, your clarity in the content and your delivery. Keep that up, and I would agree that to connect with your story, basically, I think I had to be more focused on that. Sorry, I could not do that due to some timing management that I was doing. So, other than everything was good.
Happy to know your thoughts. Toastmaster Roli.
Okay, I think most of my comments have already been covered. I would like to throw a few challenges your way. Bring in more vocal variety, which is really natural. At one point, when you were trying to show hesitation in your voice, I could see that you were trying to show the hesitation in your voice. Your hesitation should seem natural for me. It was that conversation when you were like, do you implement this advice? Do you take this advice yourself? And you're like, no. And then your voice was supposed to trail off, but the pause just did not come out right at that point. So maybe it's not what you were feeling at that point. So probably say what you are really feeling and say it like that. Don't force a feeling on yourself, because the rest of the speech made so much sense. I could connect so easily with it. That just stood out that point. Thank you.
Thank you. And distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, I would like to hear from you about influence as a parameter and more challenges.
Influence is covered. For challenges, I would suggest do what Roli did in her speech. Give a name to your significant other. She named it Elor. You might want to name it something else. That's it.
Thank you. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Anisha, for sharing your feedback. I will now take 2 to 3 minutes to evaluate the table topic speakers. Timer, please time me for 2 to 3 minutes starting now. Yashika, share experience of expedition with Discovery Channel. I liked how she described her topic, and I've used liked. She built an excellent case on the pictures. Feedback I'm going to reserve for later because this feedback applies to the next speaker as well. Anisha, a presentation on what our future could look like. You played it safe with Flintstones and Jetsons. You gave a kind of a scary portrayal of the future, that people would be lugging their oxygen masks and and oxygen cylinders. The feedback that I have for this speaker and the previous one is to be generic in the first minute. The way this topic is structured, you're going to get a topic, you have to play it generically in the first minute. And then when the picture comes, you start making it more specific. Basically, you try to keep it as open as possible. That is what Raj did. And in a way, he got lucky. He built a case on healthy eating. on having water, on having fruits, on having this. And that created a very nice segue into the next picture, which was that of a burger. But what really, I was really impressed with Raj for one reason. He took the wind out of the sails for the table topic master by saying at the red card, that's it, I quit. I'm not going to talk about this topic any longer. I'm not playing your game any longer. And that is some food for thought for the table topic master. But of course, I will come to him during the part of my meeting evaluation. Mukesh, this is a presentation about my weird dream last night. And Mukesh, by this time, had caught on to the game. He kept it as generic as possible. He kept on talking about dreams. Then he kept on talking about weird dreams. And when the topic came, he had created enough intrigue, and that was perfect timing. He delayed the topic long enough to wait for the picture. There is a recommendation. I'll come back to it. Finally, not finally, Rolly, she opened well with a question. Why do we go to the zoo with a child or as a child? She improvised on what Mukesh and Raj did. She spoke slowly, as if she had all the time in the world, with purpose, biding her time until the picture came. And when the picture came, she literally came into her own. Not only did she build on the story with the picture, but she actually broke the fourth wall when she spoke about the yellow card. And overall, excellent, very well done table topic. Jolly, when you cooked a meal for the first time, this is where luck comes in. Jolly, you got very lucky with the first picture. You were talking about boiling clear water, and voila, the next picture was that of boiling clear water. And nice transition along with the picture. Now, two recommendations before I leave. First, I think one of the speakers got really carried away with the topic, which possibly meant that they had gone over time. Second, we got too specific with the topics. Now, the way to deal with topics such as these is, number one, try to stay as generic as possible. If you're talking about your time on Discovery, talk about the Discovery Channel, about the Discovery Travel and Living, and every other channel that Discovery has. And when you see the first picture, that is where you go into your zone, which you say, today we are going to talk about this picture, blah, 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 and let the next picture comes up. From there on, it becomes a simple cakewalk. Of course, I'm not a genius. It took me 2 topics before I kind of formulated a strategy about that. Now I will stop bothering you with my analysis. I will ask for the analysis from my tag team, starting in the reverse order. Actually, grammarian and our counter reports combined. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, the stage is yours now.
I'll be sharing my screen for the role of our counter. Is it visible?
Yes.
Thank you. So Mukesh Thakur, in his opening remarks, used supportive twice. Why it is important, again twice, then 3 times, as 2 times, and repetitions were on in his PS. On the virtual stage twice, I am, I was, each one of them, they, the owner of the office, of my office. 2, 3 kinds of people. Just for example, take the example of Rolly Sinha used so 4 times, yeah 2 times, so like, then 4 times, arms 2 times. There was a short pause and some repetitions were there, like my goal to 4. We should have gone for the, then pause and okay. I was still like kind of, he is Aditya, 3rd card, red picture, then he corrected it, red picture, 3rd card, and twice. And Yashika and 11 times, so thrice, 2 times. Anisha were 2 times, could and she wanted to say could, but she used was. Twice, 3 times. She's always comes to me, Sono sabki karo. So that was Hindi word. I think she should have also translated that into English. I had made so many hours and ums, I could not count them. Mukesh Akur, while giving table topic speech, used and 4 times. Jolie in a table topic speech, no hours and ums. Jolie used Hindi word sabudana and masala. So maybe she can try to give the English words of these Hindi words. Rupinder used kind of, then love to, love and like, voila. This is the report of the R counter, and as far as the report of the grammarian is concerned, the word of the day was used by Rowley once, and the pronunciation of the word of the day is not Hekan, but it is Hakan, as corrected by Rowley. Mukesh Thakur said, as a members of the PS, the word should have been member. He's also a little bit in the habit of starting the word with now. So he says, now being a member of PS, it is a privilege. So I think now was not required. Members share, if you are talking about this subject in singular, then it is shares. If it is plural, then it is shares. He used he for Rowley. And he also said, I am a habitual. It should have been, I am in the habit of. Rowley Sina, it is my goal to, then after that, Rowley Sina said, it is my goal for. The beginning, after all, the Toastmaster Club is a team. And in another sentence, she said, other extra responsibility. I think if other is used, extra is not required. This is my opinion. I may be wrong. Yeah, the word was used most tasty. Instead of that, we can use tastiest. Where is all the grains? So it should have been, where are all the grains? Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, for.
Just a minute, I just forgot. There are some good words used by some of the members and guests, like workaholics, skewed. When I'm happy, people are in trouble. Genre, derogatory, kiss of death, run for our life, imaginary life partner, fervent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, for playing the role of a counter and grammarian with aplomb. When the situation called, you hearkened to our rescue. Great job done. Let us now call on stage our timer to present their report. May I request Toastmaster Jolly to present their report?
Yeah, sure. So I'm just sharing my screen. Yeah, so today, I think we started the session well on time with the presidential address, and then Mukesh had called upon Rowley, the Toastmaster of the day, right at the time at 4:12, and she after that handed over to the professional speaker, first professional speaker of the day, DTM. Yeah, so she handed it over to Mukesh, and he also managed the time well, and he ended up well before time. And then Toastmaster of the day, she took some time to collect on the feedback and also then start on the table topics session. She called upon to table topic master Aditya at 4:42, and Aditya, he did manage the time well, and the speakers that were called upon were also managing them well, except for few of the table topic speakers. I think Mukesh, Roli, they overshot a time bit, otherwise, and myself too. Otherwise, all of them were well within the time limits today. And then Toastmaster of the day again took almost 5 minutes, 10 seconds to brief about the rest of the topic of the day, and also to call upon the general evaluator. The general evaluator had then basically called upon all the, yeah, after that I think, sorry, my bad. So there was the speeches also, and the speeches was given by Anisha, and she also took 7 minutes 45 seconds. And then the tabletop, then the Toastmaster of the day, she had briefed for about the general evaluator for around 7 minutes, and also called upon the general evaluator. The general evaluator at 5:27, he started upon the evaluations. He managed the time well, and he called upon all the speakers, and the speakers were basically, they took around, Mukesh took around 5 minutes 30 seconds to collect the feedback. Anisha also 5 minutes 20 seconds. Rupinder, then he gave the feedback and winded up everything around the table topic section in 4 minutes 15 seconds. And then the grammarian had given his report and also the counter report in 4 minutes 30 seconds. And I think I have also overshot the time. With this, I would like to hand over the virtual stage to general evaluator, Toastmaster.
Thank you. I will now evaluate the meeting and the role players. Our presiding officer started the meeting at 4, needs to be commended, deserves to be commended, because right up till 3:59, we were replete with challenges, one challenge coming after the other, role players dropping out, timer trying to adjust to the timing system with technology, and yet the meeting started at 4. Great job done, presiding officer, starting the meeting right on time, on dot, as always. I'm proud to tell people that at professional speakers, meetings start at 4 or 4 o'clock does not happen. You kept that tradition alive. Good, energetic opening. I would want you to try opening with a humorous quote next week, because you have this habit of asking the quote at the end, and people have difficulty remembering them. Maybe a humorous quote will help them remember what you said in the beginning in the first place, and maybe it will stop me from typing down whatever you said in the beginning. Toastmaster of the day. I would pay to listen to you. I would pay to have you host an event. It was that kind of a performance. Every speaker made me feel welcome. Introductions on point. You remembered to give a minute to every speaker, which I forget, so I consider that an achievement. And yes, I will change my introduction. In fact, when the evaluations were going on, I was beginning to write my own introduction, and so far I've just written Rupinder, but it's a start. The only opportunity I have is you missed taking the name of general evaluator in the role player's introduction, but I think otherwise very well done. The general evaluator was anyway not ready at that time, would not have turned on their camera. So I guess it all worked out well in the end. Table topic master. I don't know whether it is devilish innovation or you are taking out some sort of anger on your fellow clubmates and guests that made you come up with that. Nevertheless, I was very skeptical as to how it is going to work at first, because we have this habit We go into a mode whenever something new is presented to us, we don't take it up as an opportunity. We try to circumvent it. What is the way that I can avoid? Ask Mukesh, when GST first came, I'm pretty sure people thought of circumventing GST in the first place. And that is what happened with me, to be honest. But once it started, I was totally hooked. And I loved that each of the table topic speakers finished in the red zone, at least. Some of them went overtime. So that harkens to the testimony of you keeping the audience engaged. I love your presentation style. One thing that I want you to consider is, what if when you show me the picture, I speak for a minute and then I tell you that's it, I'm done. I'm not talking about your pictures any longer. That will probably not work for you. So have some sort of an incentive for making it to the red card. Maybe a quiz kind of a thing that, okay, making it to the red card is 3 points, finishing within time is another 3 points, something like that. Just think along those lines. The tag team, absolutely zero complaints today. Special mention to Jolly Sharma because of the way she came up through her struggles with the technology, and right now is managing time very well. In fact, this has been one of the best timer roles that I have seen in professional speakers so far. So a round of applause to Jolly Sharma. Commit the hour, commit the man. Raj Mehta, distinguished Toastmaster, took upon the challenge of being the hour counter and the grammarian. And that has always left me intrigued. Why would we take on hour counter and grammarian? For me, a timer and a grammarian is more natural, because when I have that pocket where where the speaker has started, I have time to write down the grammar parts. Then I show the card, and then again I have another 30 seconds or a minute, depending on where I am, write down feedback. But taking on aha counter and grammarian is a totally different level altogether. Hats off to you, Raj Mehta. I'm not going to take my hat off. I would request Mukesh take his hat off, but I don't think he will. But great job, Raj Mehta. Many congratulations. Couple of things which I would like to give you as a challenge. 2 words that I want all of us to get rid of. One is so. We blame it on the corporates or the corporate environment. They have this habit of starting each sentence with so. So here is the report. So here is this. So here is that. Next meeting, let's start getting rid of so. We've done a wonderful job with DTM and Distinguished Toastmaster. We can do it with so. Also, when we are delivering a table topic, especially the kind that Aditya gave today, let's get rid of and. Because the way the topic goes is description, you talk about the topic, blah, 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 blah. Then the picture comes up, and here is a picture of blah, 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 blah. And then the second picture, and here is a picture of blah, 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 blah. And by that time, and almost becomes a filler word. So let's get rid of that. One thing that I noticed today, somebody called the club professional speaker. We are actually professional speakers. So let's be mindful of that. Other than that, we were few in number, yet we had a very lively, a very energetic meeting. Kudos to all of you who make a meeting possible. As general evaluator, I had a lot of fun. And even though I was not able to be on screen for most of the time, I did not miss a minute of it. Thank you very much. With that, I hand it back to our presiding officer. It was an honor being your general evaluator.
Thank you very much. Can we have a huge round of applause for our wonderful evergreen general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Now I can see we all are on our own. There is no guest, and our meeting is not even broadcasted. It's not live streaming as of now, so we can do whatever we can want, right? And so, as you already know, that what
Please stop the recording.
question. So, with a bit twist, I am not asking what was the quote that I started. Just tell me, anyone, what was the name of the other character for the series I was talking? There were two characters. What
was
was the
Breaking
name
Bad.
of the characters?
Well, Breaking Bad, I haven't watched it, so I don't remember the characters' names. One was Walter White.
Yeah, the other character.
How many times do you hear the words "I hate you"?
Sorry.
How many times do you hear the words "I hate you"?
So it was Jesse Pinkman. He was trying to explain, and this is not a test on yourself. It is also test on me. If I am saying something, if I am quoting something, it should be remembered by the members of audience. Thank you very much. At one point of time, when our power talk speaker had to quit because of some situation at his home, and then one of our role players had to quit because of some situation with her health, I thought, where are we going? What would be the quality of the meeting? Should we cancel the meeting because of the lack of attendance in the meeting? Still, we managed and we manage it well. Even if there are no guests as of now, we managed our quality perfectly. We did everything the way it used to be, and there was not a compromise even for a single point in the entire meeting. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much to all of you who has done this meeting perfectly executed. Now, as there are no guests, we would like to talk what we can improve. First of all, I would like to hear from members if you have some concerns, and then we would like to talk. There were a few guests, and I think if 5 or
We
6
should
guests.
stop the recording, I think.
We can keep it. It
Okay.
can be termed as our interaction. It can be referred in the future if required. So when I started the meeting at 3:30, I found there was one guest joined dot at 3:30. That means that person was waiting for our meeting, and that was also the person who is watching every speech that I am delivering at Mission 100. So that person was very curious and punctual to whatever we are doing. And now that we at the end of the meeting, I don't see any guests. So what could be the possible reasons that must consider? We need to do something, or it is the extraordinary situation, we cannot do anything, or any other thing that you want to talk?
I think
I
it is.
had actually, sorry, sir. I had actually reached out to both of the guests individually because I hadn't mentioned the fact that their feedback might be required and they need to listen to your speech. I had told them separately on private message. The minute I sent that message, that please listen to the speaker and your feedback might be required. And if he's attended our meetings in the past, I'm sure that he would be aware of that. He disappeared. I don't know what happened. And the other one, Yashika, she responded by saying that she has to leave at 5 o'clock. So she will try to have feedback for you. And I mean, I'm assuming that she did send the feedback to you because you said so.
She did send
Right.
she did send the feedback.
Right. So it could be a personal reason. I mean, she had already said that I have to leave at 5. So it is possible that 5 o'clock as a time is something that we can perhaps dedicate to other kind of activities on a Sunday evening. Many people start thinking about a special dinner or something special for tea on a Sunday evening. We don't. So, but others might be in that zone.
Yeah. So this will be the normal situation everywhere. All we need to consider is guests are turning up to our meetings. They are committed. They are punctual. So the things that we need to consider is to make all the guests join our
But
meeting.
I have a question, and I think we need Rupinder sir's opinion also. I kind of interjected that time, but I'm just wondering, like, are we really worried about non-Toastmaster guests?
No, I am not worrying. It is not impacting us in any case. It will not impact our quality. I'm just wondering if some events are there. We should improve on something, or suppose we are committed members. We are 9 members, and we will stay up to whatever time the meeting goes. We are supposed to be here. One member has gone. Who is that?
I think she had some power issues or something.
Okay,
The
okay,
first
okay.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah. We can also think of the person who are not committed, and still our meetings are so qualitative that every member who joins the meeting stays up to the end of the meeting, so that we can think about in the longer time. No immediate response is required. Maybe we can keep doing experiments, or making the meeting more interesting, something like that. Or it can also be the extraordinary situation. There are sad news everywhere. In every family you will find some bad news, some demise, so we cannot say anything as of now. It's just general thought.
So again, my concern is that if we are worried about our members not attending, we should try and ask them, like, what is their motivation? That was one of the reasons why I took up this topic. I have not heard from a single member coming and saying that I don't have the inclination or I don't have the time to attend the meeting, and still they don't turn up. Right? So if they are not speaking up, there has to be something that we are not providing.
Right.
Because if I go and ask somebody who hasn't yet spoken, what are the chances that that person will come out with the truth? I'm not saying that they won't. Maybe they will. If they have, if they were just waiting that, maybe somebody will ask me, and that will give them an opportunity, or they will feel that, yeah, I'm concerned about them, and then they will confess or they will share, then I can understand that. But most of the time, like 80% of the time, if a person hasn't shared on their own, they're very likely to not share even when asked. So if we just continue to figure out based on our assumptions that maybe this is what we are not doing right, maybe that is not what we have done, or maybe this is what we need to fix, it's all our assumption. The ones who find merit in being here are here every single week, right?
Yes. Maybe we should need to do some general meeting with all the members, and then we also need to do one EC meeting that is due this month. We'll keep talking about it. And now it is also time to officially conclude this meeting. I will continue after the concluding this meeting. And for that, thank you very much for all of your efforts. You are the committed members who are still thriving for making every single meeting as perfect, not only for the club, for your own development. So thank you very much for your commitment for this meeting.
Anisha has raised her hand. Anisha has something to say.
Yeah, we will continue. Just let me conclude this meeting, and then we'll continue. So I would like to thank each one of you for your commitment and your dedication and your creativity that you are showing each week. Many members are improving each week. Thank you very much for everything that you are doing, and let's hope for the best. Let's be more energetic, more professional, and more enthusiastic about professional speakers, because our next meeting starts
No.
now.
Stopping the recording.
Thank you very much.
Krish, how do you put this hat? I also want to